management of diabetes. So the functions of insulin, glucagon, somatostatin was taken in lecture as on diabetes mellitus was done, but only in few groups, maybe 2 or 3 groups. Few components were not covered. So I decided to take lecture on diabetes mellitus. So I'll try my best to complete it within 1 hour with interaction. So now, what is glucose homeostasis? Do you know what is the normal range of glucose? Fasting blood glucose level, impaired blood glucose level, and postprandial blood glucose level. So your fasting blood glucose level, normal range, 70 to 99. It is advisable less than 100. Impaired blood sugar level, 116 to 126 milligram per 100 ml. Always we have to write the unit. And PPBS, postprandial blood sugar, it is greater than 140 milligram. These things are most commonly asked in MCQ during our exam as well as during the NEET PG. Now, blood glucose balance, how our body balances blood glucose. So here we get glucose by the food materials. So here by the digestion as well as absorption of the food, we get glucose. So here mainly by the intestinal absorption and metabolism, mainly in form of the glycosenolysis and gluconeogenesis. We get glucose. At the same time, our body removes glucose in form of the glycogen. Glycogen is stored in the liver and muscle. Do you know how much percentage is glycogen is stored in muscle and liver? It is not written in slide. How much percentage? You can write in chat room. So removal occur when glycogen in the adipose tissue, oxidation and excretion into the urine. Now, how much percentage glucose is converted into the glycogen and stored into the liver and muscle? And why it is necessary to understand diabetes mellitus in current scenario. So we are living in corona pandemic. In corona pandemic, the people, those who are diabetic, in this type of the people, death ratio is very high as compared to non-diabetic. So here, this is one of the comorbid condition. Percentage, how much? I think it is taught during 70%. No. So here 1%, not 1%, I am giving you example. Into the glycogen and rest of it converted into the fat. So on an average around 6 to the glycogen and rest is converted into the fat. So that's why if you are taking glucose in excess amount, at the end it is converted into the fat. If you are physically not active, if you are doing the exercise properly, you are able to maintain glucose homeostasis in a proper way. Okay, around 2 students wrote 5 to 6%. So here regulation of the blood glucose level during fasting state. So here during post-absorptive state, that is around 12 to 14 hours after the last meal, we're able to regulate the blood glucose level during fasting As during fasting, there is no intestinal absorption of the glucose. So here source of glucose is mainly from the liver glycogen. So here during resting condition, we utilizes around 200 milligram of glucose per minute and liver. Okay, this is our need. 200 milligram per minute. And liver with storage of 90 gram. Liver only can supply around 7 to 8 hours. Now skeletal muscle, they can supply up to next 24 hours. So here, what happened during starvation? So here during starvation, glucose homeostasis is maintained by the gluconeogenesis. So we get glucose. So here it is essential to maintain the blood glucose level. Why? Brain, हमारे body का ऐसा कौन सा organ है? We cannot survive without glucose. So here our brain mainly uses glucose, only glucose, for the energy requirements. So when blood glucose level falls less than 50 milligram below the critical level, hypoglycemia occur, and there are chances of hypoglycemic shock. Person may faint, seizures develop, and if glucose level goes less than 20 milligram, there are chances of the coma. So here that's why for the proper functioning of our brain, we need continuous supply of glucose. So now I told you during my first lecture, for its life or for the cellular metabolism, glucose, oxygen and water at ideal body temperature and at the ideal body pH. So look here, in corona pandemic, we are maintaining oxygen. We heard there is an oxygen deficiency shortage in our country because we need continuous oxygen. Will not survive without oxygen. Will not survive. Though glucose level we maintain, we have time, but without oxygen will not survive. So here, these are the few things you have to learn during first year as well as from second year onwards from your clinical posting. You have to correlate when you are going to clinics. You have to correlate. You have to understand these things from the patient, how to maintain their glucose level, oxygen level, water balance, pH, as well as their temperature. So here few things related to the blood glucose level. As I told you, we get glucose mainly due to the food intestinal absorption. So here when we take food materials, your intestine sends signals to secrete the material. Insulin level increases again due to the release of the gastrointestinal peptides. There's further stimulation of the intestinal secretion. Now this intestinal causes the action on the glucose. It allows glucose entry into the cells. Some glucose, 5 to 6%, is converted into glycogen. Now some amount of glucose get oxidized and be used for the purpose of the energy. So this is the normal thing. What happens when the glucose load is more than normal? When we have glucose load more than normal. One example, when it goes more than 180 milligram. Okay, it is over the tubular overload occurs. So here some amount of the glucose will be excreted in urine. Now hope all you are knowing these things, functions of insulin as well as few other hormones. So in our body, insulin is the hormone responsible for the reduction of blood sugar level. At the same time, other hormones, example, glucagon, catecholamines, growth hormone, ACTH, adrenocorticotropic hormone, TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone, T3 and T4, thyroxine, HPL, human placental lactogen, and cortisol. So these are hormones which increases blood sugar level. So insulin is the only hormone that decreases blood sugar level, and other hormone, glucagon, catecholamine, GH, ACTH, TSH, all increases blood sugar level. Now, what is the diabetes? Can you write definition here in chat room? What is diabetes? Definition of diabetes. Definition of diabetes. Can you write in chat box? Please write the definition of diabetes in chat room. Okay, answers are coming. Improper metabolism of carbohydrate, abnormal blood glucose level, increased blood glucose level. Okay, one beautiful word by roll number 149, Yashvi. Scarcity in midst of plenty. Scarcity in midst of plenty. Can you explain? Roll number 149. It is the word given in Hindu Purana, Davidson, Harrison. Look, can you correlate with this in corona, oxygen level? Scarcity in midst of plenty. I want to tell you one thing. Oxygen is there in environment, but we are not able to utilize. Oxygen है बाहर, but we are not able to utilize. We are few only persons, those who are corona positive, COVID positive, they are not able to utilize oxygen. Same way, in diabetes mellitus, glucose level bahar hai, but cell is not able to utilize. Scarcity in midst of plenty. Extracellular में glucose बहुत ज्यादा है, but intracellular we are not able to utilize. नहीं utilize कर पा रहा है our cell. Okay, so here in diabetes mellitus, we think that glucose level is more than normal, but we have to understand intracellular glucose is less, extracellular is more than normal. Now we see the definition of diabetes mellitus. A disorder of metabolism causes the excessive thirst and production of large volume or amount of urine. Simple, it is based mainly on the excretion of urine. Diabetes ki definition, okay? Don't write here glucose level. It is the disorder of metabolism causing the excessive thirst and excessive urination, production of large amount of urine. And there are two types of diabetes, insipidus and mellitus. Now we see the definition of diabetes mellitus. So here in mellitus, you can write about the glucose level. So here diabetes mellitus is a condition in which pancreas is no longer produces enough insulin. One thing, no insulin. Second thing, cell stop responding to the insulin that is produced. So the glucose level in the blood cannot be absorbed or utilized into the cell. Okay, so here insulin is required for the entry of glucose into the cell. Always remember, पूरी जिंदगी याद रखना है. Okay, insulin is required for the entry of glucose into the cell. And then जब cell में glucose जाएगा, then cell will utilize. So here for that entry, we need insulin. Now types of diabetes mellitus, there are two types: primary, no reason; secondary diabetes mellitus. It is associated with the two reasons: pancreatitis, cystic fibrosis, acromegaly, or few other endocrine disorder, Cushing syndrome. Now in primary diabetes mellitus, it is of two types: insulin dependent and non-insulin dependent. It is, look, diabetes will be asked here in physiology, in second MBBS, in pharmacology, pathology, in third MBBS, medicine, surgery, even in gynec, everywhere. So your primary diabetes mellitus, two type, type 1 insulin dependent and type 2 non-insulin dependent diabetes mellitus. Now stages and development of the diabetes mellitus. So your pre-diabetes or the potential diabetes, your person with the normal blood sugar level, but potential candidate to develop the diabetes mellitus mainly due to the strong genetic predisposition, mainly due to the strong family history. This is the one reason. Second reason, due to the latent diabetes. In this type of the person, there is a normal FBS, PP2BS, GTT, but their glucose level become abnormally high during stressful condition, as well as during administration of the glucocorticoid. In the level sahi hai, but they are not able to maintain the stress, and due to the administration or when glucocorticoid is given, they become diabetic. Third one, clinical diabetes, that all of you know very well, person with the hyperglycemia, glycosuria and other symptoms without complication. The last one, complicated diabetes, person with the long-standing neglected or untreated, properly untreated, not treated, patient with the multiple complication. Talk about the primary diabetes mellitus. In primary diabetes, as I told you, there are two types, type 1 and type 2. Type 1 is known as the insulin dependent diabetes mellitus. Type 2, non-insulin. Insulin dependent means for the treatment we need insulin. Non-insulin dependent, insulin is not required. We can treat with the oral hypoglycemic. Is there any other method to treat non-insulin dependent diabetes mellitus? Suppose today I am diagnosed, my blood sugar level is high. What advice will be given by you, medical students? There was the last question in ECE. The newly diagnosed NIDDM, non-insulin dependent diabetes. Will you give me oral hypoglycemic? You can write in chat room. What is the advice given by you? Physical exercise, lifestyle change kar lo. Okay. Then. Okay, so the main thing is, ideally we have to reduce our weight by the exercise and by diet. This is the first thing. So here, first of all, what is the main pathology or defect in the IDDM? So here, insulin deficiency mainly due to the beta cell restriction here is okay, but resistance to the target tissue to the insulin. Now the prevalence of IDDM, it is around 10 to 20%. Less, but NIDDM, it is 80 to 90%. Look, non-insulin dependent, most prevalent. And age of onset maybe after the 40 years, and it is seen in the obese or overweight. जो second type 2 diabetes mellitus है, that we earn. It is one type of award to ourselves. ये हमने कमाया है. कैसे? वजन बढ़ा के. By hard work of eating over 20 years. ये एक दिन में नहीं होता है. It takes long. When we are in college, at the age of 20 years, we start eating. Every year we gain 1 kg. After the next 20 years, at the age of 40, we become overweight. If you are not doing exercise, you become overweight, your weight goes more than 70 or 75 kg. So here, then individual develop diabetes mellitus So here it is hard-earned disease, not gifted. Okay, type 2 is not gifted. It is earned by individuals, by overeating, and by not doing exercise. Now, type 1 is more common before the age of 40s, or that's why it is known as the juvenile onset. And here it is seen in thin, lean individual, those who are underweight also, because here there is a more genetic insulin deficiency or beta cell restriction is more common. There will be production of autoantibodies against this beta cell is commonly seen. And the main genetic involvement is located mainly on the chromosome 6 here in type 1, and in type 2 is on chromosome 1. Now, what about the family history? Now, family history is very strong in type 2. So, it is developed after the 40 years of age as compared to the type 1. But in type 1, there are mild or moderate family history. But it is very, very strong in type 2. But it is not always there, okay? Don't think my father is diabetic that I'll develop diabetes. Don't worry, I'm going to eat. Okay, don't do these things, okay? You do not have diabetes if you are doing the regular exercise. Now, clinical features, duration of symptoms here. In type 1, it is very, very rapid. In type 2, it takes months or years to develop, slowly progressing. As your weight gain occur, resistance develop, insulin resistance develop, it takes long time. Now here presenting symptoms in type 1, polyuria, polydipsia, and polyphagia. In type 2, patient present with the different complications. May or may not be different complication. And these symptoms may be present, okay? Polyuria, polyphagia, polyuria is also present. Complication at the type of presentation, it is not seen in type 1, but in type 2, it is present because many a time. So patient is almost presented with the chest pain, most commonly in age of 35 or 35 to 50 years. Overweight male present coming with the chest pain, and then during diagnosis, routine hospital testing, he comes to know that he is diabetic. The type of complication here, ketoacidosis in type 1 and hyperosmolar coma in type 2. The biochemical features, when you go for the biochemistry, a plasma insulin level, as all of you know, in type 1, due to the restriction of the beta cell decrease or absent. Here, it is normal or increased. Why insulin level is increased in type 2? Can anyone explain in chat room? Why insulin level is increased in type 2 diabetes mellitus? Anyone? What is the reason insulin level is increased? Answers are coming. Because of insulin resistance. Okay. Because of insulin resistance. Can anyone explain in simple words insulin resistance? Positive feedback mechanism. Receptors are not able to detect the insulin. Okay, you all are right. Glucose level is more than normal. Insulin is not able to transport glucose into the cell. One, due to the resistance. Second, due to the decrease in number of receptors. So here, due to this condition, as glucose is not going inside the cell and body need more and more glucose. So here, they send signals to increase more and more insulin, to release more and more insulin. That's why, due to the increase insulin resistance, decrease in number of receptors and cells, person become diabetes. Your autoantibodies is very rare in type 2 diabetes mellitus, but it is seen in type 1 diabetes mellitus. This main another reason, one of the reason for the destruction of the beta cell is the autoantibodies. Ketonuria may be present in type 1 and it is rare during initial phase in type 2. Now treatment, as we have discussed earlier, insulin dependent. The name itself suggests. So your type 1 diabetes needs insulin for the, and here in type 2, we use non-insulin dependent name. So here oral hypoglycemic. We treat non-insulin. The word itself suggests, name itself suggests. So here there is no need of insulin. We can treat by other drugs. So here we take the oral hypoglycemic drugs. The mortality is very high in type 1 and it is low in type 2. But overall, mortality due to the diabetes as well as cardiovascular disease is rising in India. Mortality due to the diabetes and cardiovascular disease is rising in India. Now, pathophysiology of diabetes mellitus. I'm going very fast because somehow we have discussed. So your obesity and metabolic syndrome. क्या होता है obesity and metabolic syndrome में? Suppose I gave the example. Suppose your weight is 65 kg right now, and you become overweight. Your weight is 67 or 70 kg right within few months. क्या होगा? How your feeding increases. Now suppose think the person with the 60 kg, the person with the 70 kg. What are the requirements? What will be increase? जैसे इंडिया में अभी ऑक्सीजन का डिमांड ज्यादा है ना, क्यों ज्यादा है? बिकॉज नीड्स ज्यादा है, he utilizes it. Same way, suppose आपका बॉडी वेट है 60 kg or 70 kg, so at the 70 kg you need more oxygen and more glucose. आपकी बॉडी का वेट ज्यादा, your heart function more has to supply the oxygen and glucose. So जैसे जैसे आपका वेट बढ़ेगा, you need more and more glucose. फिर you eat too much, again you become overweight, your weight बढ़ेगा. ऐसे ऐसे you develop positive feedback mechanism, develop, and from 60 kg you become 62, 64, 66, 68, 72, and you become obese. क्योंकि आपको भूख ज्यादा लगेगी, आप खाते ही रहोगे, and within few years you develop obesity. And as you become obese, your insulin resistance develop, and there are chances of the development of the diabetes. So your diabetes is very, very common in obese person, and obesity is associated with the hyperinsulinemia, dyslipidemia, and atherosclerosis. So a combination of this finding is known as the metabolic syndrome or the syndrome X. So your diabetes is very common in person having metabolic syndrome or syndrome X. So pre-diabetes or type 2 diabetes is very, very common in this type of the individual. Now adipokines. So adipokines is one type of the fat tissue. We use the word adipose tissue, this word. So here nowadays it is known as, it is one of the main contributing factor for the insulin resistance. So here if your body fat increases, is also considered as one of the contributing factor, because fat cells secrete a group of hormone called as the adipokines, and it influences or mainly responsible for the insulin resistance. So here, how your body fat becomes more because of the overeating and obesity, as well as another one of the reason due to the lack of physical exercise. If you are doing nothing, then there are maximum chances of development of the obesity, diabetes mellitus, and increased body fat. Another thing, leptin and adiponectin. It decreases insulin resistance. So leptin is required. Then another, resistance and tumor necrosis factor, significantly increasing non-insulin dependent diabetes mellitus. So here, these are also one type of the inflammatory mediators or markers. So here, when you become obese, so your resistance is secreted and it causes the further resistance to the insulin. Now, decrease secondary messenger. So knockout of the intracellular secondary messengers that are usually formed due to the autophosphorylation of tyrosine kinase are mainly responsible for the insulin resistance. So here, decreased secondary messenger. Another factor, decreased blood. So here, reduction in the glucose transporter in the skeletal muscles and adipose tissue are also one of the contributing factors. Free fatty acids, increase in free fatty acids, it is also one of the factors responsible for the diabetes mellitus. So these were the pathophysiology. Now, features of the diabetes mellitus. These are the following features responsible for the hyperglycemia or related elevated blood sugar level. So the first one is the decrease in insulin secretion. Second one, decrease in number of insulin receptors. Third one, decrease in number of glucose transporters. Fourth, increase in insulin resistance. Fifth, all of above. Look here, detailed physiology and functions of insulin were taught by Dr. Kamini Madam. So I am going to talk only about the diabetes. So all of these things leads to the decreased utilization of the glucose and increased hepatic output of the glucose. So these are the features of the diabetes mellitus. So your possible factors, reason for the diabetes mellitus. Now we see the features. So what is the polyuria? What is the polyuria? Main mechanism of the polyuria. You have to write in chat room. Very fast. Polyuria. Polyuria. Excessive urination. Main physiology. We ask in each and every exam, almost alternate exam, what is the physiological basis of polyuria? Polyuria means excessive urination. That I told from definition, from beginning. But why polyuria? What is the basis? What is the physiological basis of polyuria? Few students knows that polyuria means excessive urea in urine. In exam, they say many a times excessive urea in urine. ऐसा नहीं है, यूरिया नहीं है, polyuria means poly word अलग है, urea means excessive urination. Because of, I got answer from the roll number 60, Karan. Very good, congratulations. Then 65 also, congratulations, you know. So now we move forward. The polyuria means excretion of large volume of urine as well as increase in frequency of urination. So why this polyuria develop? Because of the more and more glucose. So here, when the glucose level increases in our body or in blood, this glucose is osmotically active ingredient. Glucose is osmotically active molecule. So when we have to remove this osmotically active molecule, we need more and more water. So here, these osmotically active molecules create the osmotic pressure when the level increases in our blood or body. They create the more and more pressure. So here, when this glucose increases, it creates the load on the tubules, renal tubules. So here now, renal handling capacity of the kidneys is more than normal. So now kidney function is increased. Now kidney has to remove more to retain glucose, more and more to retain more and more glucose. Kidney has to remove more and more water. So here, that's why excessive urination occur. And if glucose load goes more than normal, then this glucose will appear in urine. So that's why here, don't mix glycosuria with the polyuria. Glycosuria is different, and these things will be taught by the Dr. Pooja madam, as well as I'll tell you, glycosuria is different. When glucose is in urine, it is known as the glycosuria. Polyuria means excessive urination, not urea in urine. Okay, be clear. Polyuria doesn't mean urea in urine. It is excessive urination, and it occurs mainly due to the osmotic diuresis. It occurs mainly due to the osmotic diuresis when the glucose is osmotically active molecule, and when the level of this glucose increases in blood, we need more and more water to remove it. So that's why more and more glucose is excessive urination occur to remove the extra amount of glucose from blood. So here, when the excessive urination occur, at the same time, loss of electrolytes occur. Sodium, potassium, phosphates in urine occur. So here, it is one of the side effects of the osmotic diuresis or excessive urination. So here, the loss of electrolytes occur. Now क्या हुआ? बॉडी से पानी चला जा रहा है, सोडियम इलेक्ट्रोलाइट चले जा रहे हैं, तो क्या होगा? सेल में सेल्युलर डिहाइड्रेशन occur. Cellular dehydration occur. So here, from intracellular compartment to the extracellular compartment, so here water transfer occur. So your high glucose concentration increases the osmotic pressure of the extracellular fluid compartment. So here osmotic transport of water occur from intracellular to the extracellular compartment, leading to the dehydration of the cell. सेल के अंदर से पानी निकल के सेल के बाहर जाएगा. सेल के अंदर से पानी निकल के सेल के बाहर जाएगा. So here it leads to the cellular dehydration होगा. So when we suffer this cellular dehydration, हम लोग क्या करेंगे? हम लोग ज्यादा पानी पिएंगे. So here we send signals to the hypothalamus. सेल में पानी कम हो गया है. Now osmoreceptors in the hypothalamus are stimulated, and there is a development of the compensatory mechanism, and we drink too much water. So here, this is known as the polydipsia. Now, this is the basis of the polydipsia. Excessive drinking of the water result from the stimulation of the thirst center, which is located into the hypothalamus, and it develops mainly due to the cellular dehydration. Cellular dehydration क्यों होता है? Mainly because of the polyuria. So here in polydipsia, you have to write both mechanisms. Now, increased caloric loss, it occurs mainly due to the loss of glucose, electrolytes, and water in the urine. The another main thing is the polyphagia. Now, what is the basis of polyphagia? Please write in chat room in detail what is the basis of polyphagia. Polyuria and polyphagia. Alternately, it comes in every exam. First internal में भी आएगा, okay? Please write what is the basis of polyphagia. Polyphagia means what is the simple thing. Always when you write the physiological basis, first of all you have to write the introduction or definition. First example, polyuria. Polyuria means excessive urination. Okay. Now then you have to write the basis. Polyphagia means हम ज्यादा खाना खाते हैं. Okay, write in scientific word. What is the polyphagia? only 12 or 14 answer. I want more answer, okay? सिर्फ 12 या 15 लोगों ने लिखा है आंसर. What is the basis of polyphagia? डायबिटीज में पेशेंट आए के आपको क्या बताएगा कि डॉक्टर साहब हमें भूख ज्यादा लगती है और रात को पेशाब ज्यादा बार जाना पड़ता है, दिन में भी, पानी भी बहुत पीते हैं. ये 3 मेन सिम्टम्स है. ट्रायड ऑफ पी, पॉलीयूरिया, पॉलीडिप्सिया, पॉलीफेजिया. So now polyphagia. As I told you, our brain needs glucose for its functioning. So the glucose entry into the cells of the brain, all cells of the brain except ventromedial hypothalamus. Now what is ventromedial hypothalamus? The ventromedial hypothalamus is satiety center. जब हम खाना खाते हैं तो हमको फीलिंग ऑफ सैटिस्फैक्शन, संतोष जे था गुजराती में, खाधा પછી આમ કે ધરાઈ ગયા, one word. So here this VMH, satiety center, is independent of insulin. So here VMH depends insulin for the glucose uptake or utilization. So we need insulin. We need insulin for the proper functioning of the satiety center. And this satiety center normally control the feeding center. हम खाना खाने के बाद जैसे if we are satisfied, ये जो सेंटर है ये फीडिंग सेंटर को कंट्रोल करता है. तो हम खाना फीडिंग सेंटर की वजह से एक कंट्रोल में है तो हम इतना ज्यादा खाना नहीं खाते हैं. बट डायबिटीज मेलेटिस में क्या होता है, इंसुलिन डेफिशिएंसी होती है. व्हेन देयर इज अ डेफिशिएंसी ऑफ इंसुलिन देयर इज अ डिक्रीज फंक्शनिंग ऑफ ventromedial hypothalamus, VMH. In short, there is a decreased activity of the satiety center. Satiety center जो कि फीडिंग सेंटर को कंट्रोल करता है. तो नाउ एक्टिविटी ऑफ फीडिंग सेंटर बिकम डिसइनहिबिटेड, उसके ऊपर का कंट्रोल चला जाएगा. सो नाउ इफ वी लॉस्ट द कंट्रोल ऑफ फीडिंग सेंटर देयर विल बी इंक्रीज फीडिंग. तो हम लोग ज्यादा और ज्यादा खाते रहे. सो डायबिटीज में क्या होता है, हम बहुत खाते रहते हैं पर सेल को ग्लूकोज फिर भी नहीं मिलता, बिकॉज इंसुलिन इज देयर बट इंसुलिन इज नॉट एबल टू प्रोवाइड ग्लूकोज टू द सेल. इनसाइड द सेल entry will be decreased because of increase insulin resistance, decrease in number of receptors, decrease in number of GLOTs. So due to 3 or 4 reasons, glucose is there, but glucose is not utilized by the cell. So that's why starvation in midst of plenty. बाहर ग्लूकोज बहुत है बट अंदर नहीं है, सेल के अंदर ग्लूकोज नहीं है. So that's why cell signals to eat more and more food. So that's why feeding center is stimulated to take more and more food, more and more glucose. So this is the physiological basis of the polyphagia and most commonly asked. आपको ये लिखना है, okay, in any exam. Now what is the reason of weight loss? So here in diabetes, food intake is more than the normal due to the stimulation of the feeding center, but in spite of the more food or glucose is not utilized mainly due to the deficiency of the insulin. Now insulin is essential for the entry and utilization of the glucose. One of more thing, insulin is considered as one of the growth factor. So therefore insulin deficiency causes the weight loss and growth retardation. आप overweight हो but ग्लूकोज बाहर ज्यादा है एक्स्ट्रा सेलुलर फ्लूइड में, बट इंट्रासेलुलर में कम है, यूटिलाइज नहीं हो रहा है. तो ओवर द फ्यू इयर्स यू बिकम वेट लॉस. ग्लूकोज यूटिलाइज ही नहीं होगा, बाहर ही जमा होगा. Glycosuria means excretion of glucose into the glycosuria, glucose in urine, simple words. It occurs when the plasma glucose concentration goes more than 180 milligram per centiliter. Detailed physiology will be taught to you by Pooja madam. But in short, काफी detail है इसमें भी. When it goes more than, glucose level goes more than 180 milligram percentage, kidneys are not able to handle this too much glucose load. So here tubular overload occur and it is beyond the renal capacity. So normally 99% of the glucose is reabsorbed by the renal tubules, mainly by the proximal tubule, PCT. But when it goes more than this, okay, but there is a one limit. This limit is up to the 180 milligram, not beyond the renal threshold level, below the renal threshold, okay. When it goes more than this, it will appear in the urine. Ketosis. So your insulin prevent lipolysis and it is known as the anti-ketogenic hormone. So here, as well as it facilitates utilization of the ketone bodies, mainly acetone, acetoacetates, and beta hydroxybutyrate. So here, when the insulin deficiency occurs, insulin high nahi, so ketone bodies are not utilized properly. So that's why there is a development of the ketosis. Acidosis, same way. Hydrogen ions are liberated from the acetoacetate and beta hydroxybutyrate, and they are usually used as a buffer. So, but when ketosis becomes severe, buffering capacity decreases. So here, they are not utilized. They are not utilized for the function of pH balance or for the buffering. So here the level rises. So this causes the plasma become acidic. At the end, urine also become acidic. And there is a development of the acidosis. So here, once there is a development of the acidosis, here it affects our respiration. It stimulates respiration and respiratory rate increases. There is a difficulty in breathing. This is known as the Kussmaul breathing. So here decreased pH is responsible for it, and it leads to the loss of electrolytes and water. So here in urine, there is a loss. I told earlier, there is a loss of electrolytes along with the water, mainly due to the development of the polyuria. It leads to the dehydration, hypovolemia, and hypotension. So here diabetic acidosis, or I use the word ketoacidosis, is one type of the medical emergency. So when this develops, there is a development of the. Ideally, we have to correct at this stage. If we are not able to correct at this stage, there is a development of the coma curve. And in diabetes, there are two types of the coma: acidotic coma and hyperosmolar coma. In acidotic coma, it occurs mainly due to the acidosis, loss of water and electrolytes. So here it develops mainly due to the accumulation of the lactic acid. Lactic acid is mainly responsible for the development of the coma, or I use the word acidotic coma. Now, hyperosmolar coma, increased glucose concentration in plasma to very high level increases the osmolarity to the extent that is cause the dehydration of the brain cell. So here that results in coma without affecting the pH. So here it develops mainly due to the increased glucose concentration. So your glucose is osmotically active. So here hyperosmolarity occurs or develops due to the high glucose level. Now, diagnosis of the diabetes mellitus, it is mainly based on the lab investigation. So these are the few values that is response. If rearrangement in these values occur, there is a development of the diabetes mellitus. I start from this slide. Next time I stop here. Right now, write your roll number for the attendance. in chat room.